If you loved The 7 Secrets of Successful Stamping, Dee Gronig's best-selling introductory program, you will be thrilled with this latest how-to video. Moving beyond the basics, 20 terrific techniques for sensational stamping will take you beyond successful stamping and into extraordinary stamping techniques which embellish and enhance any designs you can imagine. Once again, Dee Gronig, the founder of Posh Impressions Rubber Stamps, outdoes herself with her instructional expertise, enthusiasm, designs, and state-of-the-art stamping methods. So get ready for Dee and her amazing new ideas. And remember, with Posh Impressions, nothing is impossible.
Hello, everyone. Your response to our first video, The 7 Secrets of Successful Stamping, was just incredible. Truly beyond our expectations. So I decided it was time to make another video. One that would focus on ways to make your stamping skills go beyond the 7 secrets and into the realm of the amazingly easy and artistic techniques which will add more beauty and style than you can imagine. In this video, we're going to demonstrate 20 terrific stamping techniques, which will focus on 4 distinct areas of artistic expression. The first area is what I call breakthrough backgrounds. These backgrounds will set the stage or the mood for your composition. Next, we'll learn about creating fantastic backgrounds using a simple technique called a brayer. Then we'll really add pizzazz with sparkle, shine, glimmer, and glitz, one of my favorite parts. You won't believe how stunning and glamorous a job you can do with these. And finally, we'll wrap up our program with a stunning array of awesome applications, a potpourri of tantalizing, provoking ideas for you to put to use right away. Now, you know this program will catapult you onto the cutting edge of rubber stamping. The concepts and expressions we use here will delight everyone you know. Now, if you are a beginner, you might want to watch The 7 Secrets of Successful Stamping. It's my first program. It covers all the basics. It gets you started in this wonderful artistic venture. 20 terrific techniques shows artistic methods that anyone can do. But you might find the basic practice helpful from 7 Secrets. For all of you veteran rubber stampers, are you ready for fabulous stamping that goes beyond anything you've imagined? Let's go! I can't think of a better way to kick off our presentation than to show you a multitude of ways to create amazing breakthrough backgrounds. The variations on a theme here are just endless. And we're starting with the simple dot background, and you won't believe it. I'm taking the dot stamp and using it with a brush art marker. These brush art markers, as you recall, are my workhorse when I use solid patterns. I'm starting with the yellow and stamping it down, the dot background. Then, without cleaning it, I'm going to a darker color, this time 43 yellow. Just at random. Now on to orange, number 7. All the time I'm building up a visual mixture of dots. Now on to a wonderful lavender. I keep this up until I'm really satisfied on how many dots that I've built up. Now, I want to take you back just a step. This stamp was designed solely for snow, to be used with a clear embossing pad and white embossing ink. Now, let me show you that effect. If you have a dark composition that has been sponged out strongly, then look at the dot pattern as snow over the top. Back to our look of plain dots. For ease, I've pre-stamped some of these dot patterns. Here's a combination of browns, a combination of greens, a combination of pinks. This is where we have kept it more monochromatic. And then going finally with a combination of pinks. Now when I take an applique design, which I've done on sticker paper over the top of this, my composition changes and has a center of interest that looks extremely dramatic. Over here, I've added an invitation for a happy anniversary party. And over here, I've added a thank you with a whole basket of fruit. An added element that softens all of these dot patterns is when you take a simple sponge. You know, my absolute passion for sponging backgrounds, that, as I showed in the 7 Secrets. I'm now going to pens that are almost ready to be thrown away. These are almost ready for the trash brush art markers. They have very little ink left in them, and it allows me to use them directly on the back of the sponge and sponge in this background. Now remember, this is going to soften the look. I'm going to take a little peach with a marker, stamp it out, and maybe put some peach in the background here. Then vary the color, maybe a yellow with 43, and build up. Now I don't want to take any more time building this up. I want to show you what a finished one looks softened with sponging. So we take this image and add a design element over it with our new hydrangea stamp in the tote, and we have a finished composition that is unbelievable. Now you're going to see examples of pre-sponging with just dot backgrounds. Then you're going to see the softened dot backgrounds with an applique design over it, and I think that you will be quite impressed. You can also use other stamps as backgrounds. For instance, I'm going to show you how to do several types of backgrounds with creative stamps. This first one is called a creative cluster. It almost looks like a blotch. It's very, very artistic. And what we do with a creative cluster is to create various types of scenes. By repeating the cluster, I get a trellis, as on this card. Also, I can do bushwork with it. With this bunny scene, I've taken the cluster and created bushes. I've done the bushes on sticker paper and overlapped them in the scene. I've also taken the cluster to make tree designed with a small background of trees. One of my favorite background stamps is the background brush stroke. It is a series, or just a brush stroke, actually. I can take any color on the back, and I'm going to take a blank piece of paper, angle the stamp, and just do it in a checkerboard pattern real quickly. No stamp positioner is necessary. This is the fastest and easiest thing to do. Now, when I complete this scene, I'm going to go in the other direction with another color of the brush stroke. I'm going to stop right there. There's just so much to show you. Clean my stamp off, and let's get a varying background. This time I'm going to take number 9 pink. Simply turn the card and follow up with a crisscross look. You can see what's happening here. Now, to complete an entire composition, and one use is, I thought it would be fun to show you flooring using this crosshatch pattern. I put a piece of tracing paper that I use with the stamp positioner right along here and made only a floor area. After completing that, I went in with a secondary color. Removed my paper so I have a floor. Now with the cut-up appliques of sticker paper, I'm going to take our traveling trunk, crack and peel it off, and put it right over the floor, like that. Take the floral basket, put it right on top of the trunk. See how fun and easy this is. And let's take our new cat, peel it off, and just put that in the front. So here we have almost a completed composition showing the floor with a brush stroke. You know, another technique that is very attractive is called wallpaper stripes. I love collecting pens, as a lot of us do in the stamp industry. Here I'm going to be using the Micron Pigma pens for a very fine look for wallpaper. I go to my favorite Zig calligraphy pens for a wider look. When I take a Zig calligraphy pen, I get a very thick line with a ruler across that gives a very, very heavy look. When I go to the Zig clean color pens that have a double applicator, I can go with a finer look, like this. And then I can even turn the pen around for a very, very fine look. Now I easily can repeat this pattern going back to my thick calligraphy pen and just continue. Oops, need to get the thick side. And just repeat the pattern. I did such a pattern in preparation that was a thick, a thin, a thick, and a thin. Again, this is such a sensational background. Now, creating the foreground for this background. What I'm doing is going to start with one of our brand new stamps, which is the French wire basket. So in. I'm going to take the wire basket and just go around the outside of the basket. Only that area, and stamp it on a card. I've already done that. This gives me my outline. Now I go to my favorite thing in the whole wide world of stamp, flowers. And like we showed on the basic video, I am doing multicoloring with brush art markers. I take a green right here and color it. And I have the outline of my basket, so I know exactly where to stamp the stamp. Now, by breathing on this, you know the trick. I can get a second image. I can change the color of that design. This is a little bit of repeat that you advanced stampers already know. But I can get a variation. Let's do even a deeper color turquoise for that look right here. So we continue to fill the basket. Now the final step, after we finish the basket and of course added filler. You never do a floral without some floral filler filled in here. Then with the stamp positioner, we merely get the basket stamp in place and stamp over the image, getting our basket. Voila. That's the way to do it. Have it all prepared ahead. Now, in this case, I will take scissors and simply cut out around in a general cut. Don't worry, you know, I have a background of doing nothing but cutting and pasting. But you don't have to take a lot of time to get this look. We're cutting it out very quickly and we have our completed look. We take our wallpaper background and there we have a finished composition that has such a quality of design that to me it's absolutely amazing. Now it does not have to be that detailed. We can take these calligraphy pens, such as I've done here, and done a brush look across the top and the bottom, thinner lines, and then taken another type of an arrangement and set it in a different way. But are you beginning to see the fun you have with these backgrounds? You're going to even see more. Your response to our backgrounds has been overwhelming. We've designed more, and I want to show you how we combine and put these together because they're useful with the stamps you might already have in your collection. Taking this large visual here with several designs on it, and I want to point out a few things. Here we've designed river rocks. They give you a look of depth in going back into the background of your scene. Again, you see dots. You see the edge of floral filler to create blossoms on a tree. Now here's a trick. We've taken the tree frame and we've taken the top of the brand new hydrangea stamp, inked only it to make a full green tree. Southwestern, again, one of our favorites. A new Southwestern interactive. We can take and build on this scene. It's made to interlock with each stamp so it can go in the foreground and the background. This is the new Posh Path that goes into the background. You can see it here with a Western. Another trick. This is the Posh Evergreen on the tree frame to make a Joshua tree. The Posh Path is used with the beach scene. And here we have the new Forget-Me-Not as blossoms on a tree with an overlapping background. I mean, can you see the fun we have? Unlimited backgrounds. And there's even more. For example, there are advanced sponging techniques that I want to share with you. You saw the introductory in the last tape. Now, a new trick I do with sponging is to streak the sponge or blot it very lightly. Here I've put a Post-it note over the center of the card, taken a soft sponge, gone around the soft sponge, lifted it off, and I get a very pronounced area for my center of interest, which is Happy Birthday. Now, to streak. We take the same Post-it note, let me grab it here to give you an idea, cover up this, and we absolutely pull the sponge. I have to show you this because it's unbelievable. I have a stamp here, and of course, some of our newest stamps are such fun to show. We have a Fiesta and a Sombrero. We're going to take a Post-it note and make sure we cover up that whole area that we've stamped in the center. Now again, using powerful markers this time, not our used up markers. This is number 43. I'm just going to go around and just pull. I mean, what could be easier? I want to keep going. You just need to see these results. Around here. Just do it with a flair. Don't have to be careful as you notice. Okay. Now we're going to build up with a color. Let's go orange that goes with that. Where's my orange sponge? Right here. We'll just go with 59 sponge. Now this gives it more depth on the top. Not enough depth, though. We're going to go much stronger in just a second. Let's immediately go to number 9. It's a stronger color. Now, look what's happening. We have to get a power color to finish everything off, so I'm going to go to number 31. That will be a lot more powerful on here for the biggest accent. I'm going to switch to 20. I always change my mind halfway through, but you can always do that. If a color isn't looking exactly the right shade, just switch, like I did to number 20. Okay, you ready for the finale? Upside down, but there we go. We have a real power background for this fiesta. As you can see, I've done it around a card with party, the thank you, and you'll see even more. The next method, I know I say a lot of things are my favorite, but this truly is. You ink up a stamp. This is called a stamp on a stamp. You take a creative stamp now. I'm looking for this cluster stamp since it is one of my favorites. I'm going to get a variation of maybe a little light brown and dark brown. Now remember, I've already stamped this. And now I'm going to put a pattern on a pattern. I'm going to go with much, much darker here. And we'll get a look. Now when I turn over this stamp and stamp it, breathing on it, look at our decorative vase that began plain but now has a decoration. You're not going to believe all the variations on this theme. I took the Posh Ming. There's the hydrangea. I put the daisy over this one, the swish over this, the freeform flower over this, the ginkgo over that. Have you ever seen anything like that? It's all such fun. We've taken a good look at breakthrough backgrounds. And now I want to show you how wonderfully easy it is to make spectacular backgrounds with the help of a brayer. A brayer is a type of a roller stamp that will allow you to create infinite variations for your background themes. In fact, we're going to look at several of those. I call them stripes, wiggles, zigzags, and plaids. Okay, stripes. I take my roller, put it on its back, and I'm just going to spin the roller around as I put on color. I mean, what could be easier than this? Let's do 2 stripes. I have pre-done a few colors on this roller. Now I take the roller and just roll across the card. Oh my gosh, I love this. Look at this. How can you get a background faster than this? Now, by your repetitions, you get it fuller and fuller and fuller. And if you want it deeper, you go more to the left so your darker stripes show. But you have a background that is unbelievable. That's just stripes. Okay, to clean off that stamp, I'm taking a lot of Windex, or watered down Windex, on a handy wipe and getting all of the color out of that brayer. As you can see, it all comes out, and then wiping it dry with a cloth. Okay, now let's explore wiggles. Okay, I call wiggles, let's just go zig, zig, zig. As I said, nothing could be easier. Wiggle. Just, scribbles. Doodles. Great for kids. No, we have more fun. All right, now let's get another accent color. Going deeper. Okay, let's see what this is going to look like. No two ever look alike. That's why it's always fun. Okay, another card. Here we go with wiggles. Oh my gosh. This is great. Now I want to show you a zigzag. I discovered this zigzag because I wanted a herringbone pattern. Let's go back to our first roller. All I do is stripe along here this way with stripes at an angle. Get it better at that way. And I go back the other way. Let's get a deep color. Let me see if I am better at twisting this around. Got to get the right angle. Well, this will be sloppy, but then you'll see that even sloppy looks okay. All right, now let's go with zigzag stripes. Oh! See the herringbone pattern take place. I'm going to do a plaid, and the plaid is one of the most fun, simple ways. We're going to go with stripes again, just by turning it around. Let's go different colors. Gosh, I hardly ever use brown. But let's do it in this case. Let's use gray. Get a very subtle background. That'll be very unlike me. And now we'll take a card and go over. Now you might think that's pretty dull and boring, but by the repetition we get this. Now we absolutely turn it the opposite way and go across there. So we're getting a kind of a plaid. If you want to rejuvenate, you don't even have to clean off your color. Just go back on, because that other color is so used up, it doesn't even matter. Let's get some black in here for accent. And now we'll just go over a portion, and you can get a further plaid. Unbelievable. Again, these set the stage. All right, for fun, let's take a cutout, our clearly a jar stamp, and see how fun it is to add it on top of one of these. I think this is the one it should go on. But you see, by getting a few illustrations and cutouts ahead, you're really in business. And when you get out the sprayer, you make up dozens of backgrounds. You cannot stop doing backgrounds. It's such fun. But that's just the beginning. I want you to guess what else we're going to be up to. In my experimentation of this, I began by taking a simple stamp, inking it up. I call these my background stamps. Okay, we've got a background of trees. Now this was just an experiment. I was so jazzed when I got this result. Okay, take a clean brayer. Merely go over the stamp. That could be easier. Go over it again. Maybe get it in another position. Now, are you ready? This is just, to me, this is absolutely incredible. Okay, let's, in the foreground, use the larger tree. Oh, this is just too much fun. Let me get it gray. Let me get it gray this time. And let's take a new brayer. Let's be extravagant. I have about a dozen of these. And go over with a larger one. Yes! In the foreground. All right. Now for fun, now our creative juices are flowing, I want kind of a horizon line. I'm going to go back to our method of drawing directly on the brayer with a Marby. Going to vary these mountains a little bit. I mean, that's what I'm going for. Who knows? I hope they look like mountains. And let's just go over here to put, oh my gosh, we have ground. Fabulous. Oh, fabulous look. And then, oh, in the front, the foreground, let's maybe add some river rocks. Why not? Now that we're really into this. To complement my gray, I think I'll do brown in the foreground. And again, we can go over this same brayer that has run out of ink without cleaning it. And now we have rocks in the foreground. Again, we have set the stage for a fabulous scene. Now what I want to show you is how I began and had fun doing scenes. In this case, I put water in the foreground. I put the hydrangea stamp, that is the flower stamp, as trees in the foreground, or in the background foreground. Here I did sand all the way along, and that was fun to do with, again, the brayer with the background that I just showed you. Here is a wonderful winter scene just in greens. Oh, to take the tall tree and to do this with trees, I don't think anything is more elegant. And by leaving this open, it looks like snow on the ground. What could be easier? All right. Now, here's what I want to show you in its completed state. I did a scene very similar to the one that I showed you, but I wanted a jungle look in front. So I reversed the fern and the tropical leaf. Now, on a piece of cutout sticker paper, I stamped these elements: snakes, butterflies, a snail, and thinking of you. And I put them together, and we have an entire scene with the background of brayer and the applique of the sticker in front. Now let's do that again. One of our new stamps is the bamboo. I just went wild with the bamboo and the dot accent, which you now know how to use. I sponge lightly from the sides to bring it all together, which really helps. And then to complete that, I put on toucan and the parrot with happy birthday to you. What could be simpler or more fun? I call it a sponge brayer. Now this gives you a far more artistic side, or more of a watercolor look. All right, I'm going to get this a little wet. It seems to help it. When you put your brush art marker on the sponge, it's going to act differently. I'm again putting just stripes. Let's get some other colors here. And I'm just going to go over this with colors. I am going to pull, instead of a glossy paper, this is a matte coat paper. It works with water easier. And look at this look. It's like watercolor. I go back and forth, and if I even want it wilder, what I do is get a lot of water, or Windex, and almost clean my brayer off, this sponge brayer. Now it has water on it, and then I get even more of a look. Let's keep it on. More of a wet look. In fact, I want more wet, so I'm going to shoot it right on the brayer. I had more fun experimenting with this look, and I want to show you some of the results that we came up with. Very soft look. We've done a look with other colors, a heavier look. I put on drops, drip drops, and then did the sponge brayer over that. Here's another heavier water look. And with one here, I thought it would really be fun to put an applique over it. I did a different color scheme here, cut out my applique, and in this case, I'd put this right over the top, and you see the lovely watercolor background. Other illustrations that I've done of this have been with our new blossom branch to give an oriental look. And I'll be getting to the technique of how I used an open image with a brayer in just a minute. This is a lead-in to that. If you take your inks and go very strong and do stripes right next to each other, you get a background look like this with these dots. Just little, it's a different look than the brayer entirely. So we have done several background illustrations with that look. So my suggestion is experiment. Try all types of brayers, from the sponge to the soft rubber brayer, and you will be amazed at your looks. Brayers are just fabulous. Now wait until you see how easy they are to work with a stamp pad. Now this isn't just any pad. This is Abracadabra's rainbow pad, hand-dyed with colors like you wouldn't believe. You make sure your roller is the size of their jumbo pad. You go along. This happens to be a carnival coloring in a rainbow pad. I save a brayer. It's almost like I'm revving up. I save a brayer that stays dirty because this ink is a lot stronger. Now look at this. This is phenomenal. Oh, excuse my excitement. Every time I do this, I just cannot believe the result. Now, I didn't have enough over there, so I turn this card upside down, and I keep doing this. I overlap that color, and this is my look. I have a tool that has come out of the stationery industry. It's a white correction pen, and you'd normally think secretaries. Not so. This is not your average correction pen. It's a ballpoint correction pen, and it's made by Sailor. So you want to specify in an art or a stationery store near you to get this specific pen. It writes white opaque ink. You can write with it. Do you know how exciting this is on dark stationery to write a name? I mean, above that, I take a ruler. Now, you can probably see the direction in which this is going. I can get accents. I can get lines across here for a background. Now, it would have been smart of me to take this ruler and put it on the other side so I wouldn't get any carryover. But I am making stripes and, oh, let's go this way. Oh, each one can be so different. I want to take that look of this card back and maybe put this on. I like that look better. So my white pen I use as an accent in this case. Now, as an accent, I might just add dots. Here I've taken the hibiscus and gone over, I've used the dark tapestry background with the roller and done dots around as an accent. Here, I've taken the heart and done loops all the way around and dots. A fabulous way to do it. Then I've gone on beyond that with the Fiesta stamp and added dots here, and you can see the background was the pad, and then I added even more Marby stripes. Are we getting creative or what? Here, just snow. What could be easier than just dots? But again, these white show drama. Now, instead of just dots, all I'm doing is a cross pattern here to make a snowflake, such as I've done with this Santa fax. And then here, again, writing all the way around. And I have used a black pad here with a brayer to get my background. Okay, now we're talking stripes. Here's my background and nothing but stripes. And stripes and stripes. We're wild on stripes. Now here's what the composition looks like over those stripes. And this is just the beginning. I know I say that a lot, but you're going to now see a lot of examples showing the lines underneath with fabulous applique stamp art on top. Sticker paper can be purchased in a bulk pack. This is crack and peel sticker paper. You can get from paper houses. It all cracks off. And so you can use it as a whole sheet in whatever way you want. Okay, I'm going to quickly clean off this brayer and go over another pad real quickly because I am really eager to show you this look. Let's get the jumbo primary. No, we did jumbo primary. Let's go tapestry because I want you to see a whole different array. Okay, we're revving it up. Now we've got a big stage to work with. Back and forth on this sticker paper. Now, I'm not even minding the way this overlaps because I can just keep getting it deeper and deeper, but having a fabulous color scheme here. Now, all you do is to take an open stamp, such as this fishbowl. That's a stamp that is not solid, and stamp it right over the surface. Then you have now a fishbowl that is a designer fishbowl that has been done with a fabulous background. Now, here I've taken a romance pad, one of my favorites, and stamped the bottom of the jar on the romance pad. And here's my completed composition. Do you see what I'm getting at? How easy? And the fact that you can take now an open image with a great background and fill it in rather than having it open in white. It couldn't be easier. And that's not all. You go on with your doodles, with your brush art marker. I took a head in preparation and did stripes all over and just went 2 types of stripes. And I did nothing but fishbowl, stamp, 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 stamp. And what I got was the basis of this composition with this fishbowl, and then added the geranium stamp on top. And of course, you know what's in the background, wallpaper stripes, and we have a finished composition. These can be saved for rainy days. So you're doing all of this ahead, and then you have fabulous, fabulous backgrounds to use with your open images. You can hardly see the definition here, but here we have clearly wrapped, and we have as well the open tote image. And what we've gotten here is a composition using what we got out of the sticker paper. So have fun doing all of these doodles on the backs of your large pieces of paper, and you will be off and running, I guarantee. You're going to have a lot to do on a rainy day. One last thing about brayers. It's a great look to take a stamp. Make sure that stamp is very, very clean. Stamp it in a Top Boss by Clear Snap pad. I like the way these pads are designed because you put it over the image, such as I'm doing right here. Go over the entire image and stamp it on a piece of paper that is a matte coat finish. You stamp it. I've done this ahead because I want to vividly show you what we're going to do here. Now, you take your brayer. One step before you take your brayer. You emboss this example. So I have put white embossing powder over the top and heated it and gotten a raised look. You won't be able to tell from the camera very well that there are leaves that I've stamped here on top of this matte finish. Now I'm taking my brayer, revving it up, and going along this background. Do you see this magically appear? This is what I mean. We just have to have the finale of our brayer section, a dramatic one. And we have the wonderful look of white leaves on a dark background. One last one. Water. Let's get our Blue Lagoon pad all revved up. Now, I stamped previously and embossed the New Wave stamp. And here we have the bottom of the ocean look. Unbelievable. And then for a finale, we take the large fish that are done out of sticker paper and nearly put them on our composition for a finished look. Boy, what fun we have with brayers. Oh boy, sparkle, shine, glimmer, and glitz. The name of this section says it all. Just wait until you see the pizzazz that you can create here. I'll be showing you how to use a brand new heating element that is a quiet heating tool. I'm going to start with what I call rainbow embossing. Rainbow embossing I use with tinsellettes. Tinsellettes is an extra fine quality of glitter in with embossing powder. It comes in small containers like this, but oh heavens, this is not enough for me. When I rainbow emboss a posh image, I use much larger containers. I get jars and just put 2 containers worth in a jar and I'm ready to go. I have a whole display right up here, always by my desk if I'm going to emboss. So I'll put this aside and we're going to get started. I've pre-stamped and rainbow embossed the Ginkgo Trio on this black card. And I must say, for drama, I love black for embossing. My favorite pad to use with this is made by Colorbox, and they are created for roller stamps. Now I take the tape off to make this loose, and I, like the Japanese do, they bring the pad to the stamp, and I'm going to do that in this fashion. I'm going to get some gold and some silver. That's why I love this dual combo pad. And if you want closer silver and gold together and copper, there's another new pad out, which is fabulous. Now I stamp very hard with all my might. Lift off, and I have an opaque showing. Now I'm going to go up to my colors. Now here's the reason. I have these wide mouth jars. I just put it down in. I've done orange there. I'm going to do red here and blend, half red in fact, making sure I shake off the powder over the already covered image. Now from there, let's go a fuchsia or a mauve. Oh, I love the mauve. And this time, I'm just going to cover the whole area up. A little more needs embossing powder. Now I take this new tool that is so quiet and wonderful and heat it up, and this will raise the embossing powder. You may be able to notice a slight change. There. I have to show you how you do a large word stamp and truly rainbow emboss. Let's go with the various sections here. I take the thank you stamp that is going to have many sections, stamp over it with this wonderful ink, and press it down, trying to avoid the leaf stamp. I think we can fit it in. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Okay, and press real hard. Now, because this is slow drying ink, you have a minute or two to do all your rainbow embossing. Here's the thank you. Let's start with another favorite, Spellbinder. This Spellbinder embossing powder is a heat-sensitive powder that is going to turn 2 or 3 different shades. If you have a little extra powder, you just wipe that off or do it with a brush. Now from that, let's go to my green tinselette. Shake it off again in the direction toward which I've already used embossing powder. From here, I'm going to go to Peacock. Love Peacock. From the Peacock, let's go to Royal Blue. And that'll give me a chance to go to another one of my favorites, which is purple. Let's just skip right to purple. These colors are so intense and rich. You'll know all my secrets to embossing after this, because I'm asked as people look at these compositions just how they're done. And I'm going to finish up with Fresh Rose. It's a lovely shade. Then we're going to heat it. You're going to see the most drama over the Spellbinder. I'm going to snap this to get all of the excess off and move my pads out of the way and start our quiet, newly designed heat gun. Can you see the way that that first type of embossing powder is changing to several different shades? Oh, and here we have something that is quite unbelievable. Other illustrations that I've done with this have been with snowflakes. You see, from mauve to a wonderful fantasy sparkler color to peacock, to using mounts to raise up this party popper. Again, I've done a section of elegant gold, elegant silver, reds with the party stamped out with the same fashion, and again, our accent dots. Oh, for a look that I think is quite remarkable. It's the look of the brush stroke. Now, every time I did the brush stroke, I would do it on a different part of the pad. So I would start in the brush stroke, maybe with silver. By going directly to gold, I get like a pewter. Then on to a copper, and then on to a real rich, even darker copper. Now we can continue the darker copper up here. Just for fun, I'm going to get the spellbinder again and show you how heat sensitive this powder is. It's quite fabulous. Now this will change shades. I'm usually not as extravagant with all that extra powder. Now you get quite a variation. That was the method in which this was used, and of course mounts were used to elevate the butterflies. Another with the bamboo, used with a silver pad underneath with the spellbinder embossing powder over the top. And here is a fabulous example of rainbow embossing with a vase, the terracotta potta, with backgrounds of our small filler for the flowers, and our new partial peony stamp with leaves. Now, you have tools like embossing pens. There's several different types, and I'd like to illustrate those right now. If you have something small to do, like a name tag, and you want it in bright lights, you can take the very fine embossing pen. The next pen up is the calligraphy pen. Now, there are precautions for the calligraphy embossing pen. You must go slowly. I'm going to fill in just a portion of this invitation. Let's put the date as March. '31st. Now, over that March 31st, I think I want silver to bring out that color. I'm going to shake on the silver embossing powder, shake it off, and heat it. Oh, does it ever come to life? People will know the date of that party. Now, my favorite in the pens is more of a thicker writer. I have a card here, and I'm going to just write thanks at the top of this card. This gives me a lot more room to design these words. I'm starting with elegant gold. That is a gold embossing powder that has holographic glitter in it. I just love it. It's like glitter on top of glitter. This is elegant silver that has the same. And I'm very careful not to do the whole image because I want to finish with, say, a gold, a straight gold, because straight metallic gold is very legible on words. And if you use some of the elegant gold and elegant silver that has more glitter in it, you might want to add that, the power of that metallic gold. Oh, this truly comes alive. Ah, all I can say is wow. Another use that I have for these wonderful pads is as a background. You know, and we have addressed a lot of backgrounds. But I can take a stamp, in fact, not a stamp. I mean, I've stamped this previously, but I'm going to take a sponge, a clean sponge, and dip it right into one of these pads. Let's go with the gold pad. I'm going to go around the outside and sponge. And take another corner and sponge. And another corner. I'm just only using the gold, so just for fun variation, I'll dip into silver without even cleaning my sponge. So I've softened the edges with sponging with a pigment pad. There's another trick. Before I heat that, let me shake my spellbinder on it. I want to show you another trick with a stencil. I might want to back up paper because I'm going right to the edge in this case. Okay, we'll set this aside and we're going to heat that up in just a second. But here, I'm going to take a stencil of a cloud and just move that right away. Put this down and get some cloud formations. And I think I'm going to choose gold. Let's do it even a dark copper. And go along, this time stenciling some cloud formations with the pigment ink. Okay, there's one. Wow. Go to silver, do another, and then a lighter one down here, another one over here. Can't stop, can't stop. Let's do one more dramatic one up high. Okay, we're ready to put our spellbinder look on top. Now for the finale. You'll probably get to love this kind of powder like I do, the heat-sensitive type that will give you so many different variations. Oh, and you have a fabulous clouded sky. Now here, we're just going to have the edge softened by pigment ink on a sponge. I've done that same effect around the Fiesta. I've done it around the candy jar. I've done it around the jukebox. And boy, is this sky ready for Halloween. You even can go on white with the same effect. One other type of powder that I am very, very eager to show you is brand new on the market. It imitates the look of antiquity. The powders are called the verdigris, the terracotta, and it's a look that is so different to embossing. It's a flat matte finish, and you just need to see. I almost want to show you on the French wire basket, the verdigris, because when you look at these in nature, they have a wonderful weathered look. Okay, we're stamping it with a gold pigment pad, pressing hard, and getting our new ink, the verdigris, over the top. fabulous powder. And we're going to emboss it. Oh my goodness, unbelievable. Don't forget, you can rainbow these colors, even if they are the matte finish. For instance, we have our terracotta pata that I'm putting in several colors and stamping it out. Let's even do it on the other side. This just calls for this new terracotta color. Let's do terracotta over the middle. Shake it off toward the middle. That frees us to put different effects above and below. Let's go to a tinselette, like an orange, because it blends with the terracotta. And down here, let's go with this new matte finish gold. Oh my gosh. This will lead me right into double embossing. After we heat this, we're going to do the trick of double embossing. There's a new tool out that is a brush embossing pen. After I've heated this and raised it once, and if I want those shells to come out stronger, when this is cooled off, just a second, I'm going to go over the shells only. And maybe that line in between. This wet ink will collect the powder. Let's go to the verdigris over the top here. Shake it off. Oh my goodness. And you see our fabulous look of embossing on embossing. So it's a raised on a raised surface. I cannot stop experimentation. I want to show you all of the different things that I have done. Copper, gold, silver, pearlized experiments on this terracotta pata. And that isn't all. The wonderful posh pedestal lends itself to these lovely antique embossing powders. Even more examples of how we have used these fabulous, fabulous powders. Now, one other aspect to the embossing is using the fine line pens as a wallpaper background, yet again. But this time embossing it so we get more drama than ever. You can just imagine the way that I use the pen with the ruler and emboss. But here are the effects that you get. Look at this background, how it has double lines and it has been embossed. There's another background. Now this is a kind of a combination where I've used that broad pen to write and the fine line to create and break up my background. Another grid pattern. Here is one of my favorites where I have taken the pen and gone over in stripes over the open vase and then done the multicolored tinselettes. This is a pattern where I have done a combination of the fine line pen and the brush art marker, not the brush art Marvy marker, but the brush art marker with the embossing powder in it. The variations are infinite. Do you like glimmer? Then the art of glitter writing is for you. Watch this. I have searched the world over for the best type of adhesive, and I found it in the art glittering system done by the Art Institute. This is an unbelievable adhesive that comes out, it controls your writing. What I'm going to do is write the word party above this jukebox. Do you see how easy this is to write? Now, first thing I do is to wipe off any excess up here so that it's ready to go again and it doesn't dry. Now I go over to the finest presenting all of my glitter trays. I have ultra, ultra fine glitter, and I'm going to rainbow glitter this. I take a spoon with a nice point on it, and I vary. I shake it off. I'm going to go to magenta. Then from magenta, let's go to this fabulous gold. And then from the fabulous gold, let's finish off with, a green. I don't think any look compares to this. Let me give you another look. This is a large name tag. Let's write Ashley. See how free you can be with the writing? And it doesn't take good handwriting. I know I've taught first grade before this, and I've had lots of practice, but it doesn't take a good hand. Let's do a different style of rainbow glittering. Let's do the deep green here. All the time I'm thinking about imitating those other colors. So I have blue. I'm going to go to blue next. From that blue, let's go to a light blue. Then on to a summer blue, summer greenish blue. And then I want to finish up with this dramatic. Oh my gosh, this is just unbelievable. This stays dimensional, and it raises up, and the glitter will never, ever come off. I use it as an accent as well. If I'm stamping a bulb, then I might take and do a bow. And then shake my embossing colors over that bow on the bulb. With this heart wreath, I might just add more hearts and add glitter to those. It's just a wonderful, wonderful system. Now, your presentation of all your glitzy, glimmer and glitz pieces is so important, and that's where Posh came up and brought vinyls, glitzy vinyls, to the rubber stamp industry. Now you can get them in a lot of places. But we've put together packages of the most wonderful sticky back glitz. Now I will mat illustrations using these glitters. One of them that I did combining the glitter writing with the presentation is with this illustration. Another one with the writing is this, with a deep blue. Do you see how this finishes off a composition? Here's one that doesn't need finishing off. With all of the color that we have, we could add silver or gold to the background, but it stands out so much with the word Halloween. But here's a presentation with our glitter writing around the side, plus the vinyl in the background. What I want to do is give you more of an array of these combinations of things that we use. Looking right here, I have double lined this, gone over the wreath. I've done background strokes with our glitters, with a fish look or a wave look, written Happy Easter here. Here I've done a matte finish with wiggles and stripes with this composition, even a photograph inside. And over here, Happy Halloween. This kind of summarizes how I put all of this look together. Now on to a few more presentations. Stripes. Letting more of this glitter show. Here's the bright silver and the snowflake background. One more trick with glitzy vinyl is to take a product that is called drafting film. Use it through your regular copier, your black and white copier. My best method of utilizing every bit of this film is to take my favorite images, put them up on a piece of paper, getting every inch utilized. I put this through the drafting film, put it through the copier with this underneath it, And this transposes to my drafting film. Now, I cut up each section like this. Peel off the edge. In fact, I have one ready to go here. Let's take the sombrero. Peel off the backing and merely put it over your glitzy vinyl. Now, when you cut this out, do you see how your sombrero has these glitzy looks behind it? This is too fun. Let me take this other application that we just did and put it on another piece. Here, see how the jar has gone over this and can be cut out? Applications for this are like this. We even have multicolored vinyls. So now we take these and put them into other compositions. Here I've taken the open tote and added more embossing to it using the vinyl overlay. These sunflowers, I've done a double bit where the inside has been done separately out of one color vinyl and the outside another color. The leaves the same way. We might want to turn this right side up to see it. Then a finale in this section is where I've taken all of the different dogwood stamps that are more of a see-through stamp, done the glitters around it, then the embossed writing, and putting on a very decorative mat. It's all such fun. But I do have a final touch. It's the last technique that shows glitter and glitz, and it's with a new product called the bejeweler. I can add jewels so easily to any of my compositions. And I want to give you a quick look. A bejeweler looks just like this. It's a small instrument. It even has a rest to sit on. It's quite hot. It'll just sit right here. I put my jewels out, and this is the instrument to pick up a jewel. It picks up that easily. And I'm putting it right on the area that I want, and it's glued on. Nothing could be easier. Now, it's so easy. I had this fun a couple of days ago bejeweling things. Here we have jewels inside the case, in the eyes of the koi. We've done them at random in this background. We've added jewels to the center of this flower. We've also added it to this invitation. You just know with this fiesta jeweled invitation that everybody will be there. All of these tools and all of this glitter and glitz will keep you busy for a long time. And now the finale, awesome applications. You are now going to see a whole array of ways to use your stamp art to create unbelievable lasting impressions. Nothing says that stamp art has to remain on a greeting card. I'll show you over a dozen ways to integrate stamp art into fancy cards, gifts, decorator items, even furniture. Also clothing and accessories. With all of these fabulous ideas, there's no end of what we can do. I'm beginning with our posh pocket calendar. Nothing says the month of the year than a stamped calendar, beginning with January and February, on to our koi in March, April, May, June. I can't stop. I have to show you all the months of the year. July, August, September, October, November, and December with a dot pattern as an accent. Also, album art. you can take your stamps and add them to your albums. You can see the many ways we have done that here. Besides albums, I love to stamp envelopes. Posh has designed a whole line of postage stamp borders. These truly are a wonderful frame around the postage stamp. And you're giving the postman something to look at. We have a cape frame, a spring border, one for the commemorative stamps. Our most popular is the window dressing. And what fun to show Western with the new Western bandana. Gift wrap is one of our specialties. And with everything changing to be in the recycle look, we're having lots of fun taking packages out of craft paper and doing wonderful stamping very, very simply. Here is the traveling trunk, black embossed on craft paper. Now, a little fancier, we've taken a gold embossed pad. To make the gold stand out stronger, we've put a white black marby around the inside or any of the open image. Of course, the water-based marby rejects any of the embossed portions, so you have a wonderful effect. Now, Rubber Stampede has brought out a fabulous tote to stamp. This is a fabulous surface to directly stamp on. Now, I go a step further, as I do in almost everything, and that is to stamp tissue. Now, I made a great discovery when I was stamping tissue in preparation for this video. I started noticing as I went through the stamp that I was getting a residue underneath the stamp. I put a blank card underneath and kept stamping and stamping and stamping my border, and just look at the texture. So I encourage you, whenever you're stamping your tissue paper or napkins. Speaking of napkins, let me show you how easy this is. We call these Posh Decorator napkins. All you do is open out the napkin, making sure you only have one surface, and stamp directly on the napkin, getting looks like this. Such fun to end your party with that kind of an accent. Speaking of invitations, another specialty of ours, I want to introduce to you something that I had the wonderful pleasure of working with Marion Heath Designs with. This is the first time Posh stationery has appeared on the market, available in all stationery stores. It's actually been designed totally with rubber stamps. You'll recognize some of them. Now, I go a step further. With these plain imprintable designs used on laser printers or any other type of printer, you can go and, with your stamps, add to it. Here are place cards. The envelopes have a flap that I've designed, and you can stamp the insides. Here's a shower invitation. Here's an imprinted invitation here. Another pattern that really has been fun is the zinnia burst. You can take and mount extra zinnias. There, you can take a tag on the end to close your envelope with a zinnia on sticker paper. You can add a fiesta look to it. The possibilities, or should I say the possibilities, are absolutely endless. The golf. Oh, adding extra of the golf ball around your invitation. Even printing a map. Or taking your stamps and just using party. We go further with invitations with a raspberry label. Also have our wonderful art system of glittering. A new concept in easy-to-do card art is the window card. You simply take one of your compositions, cut it in quarters, push out those quarters on a larger card. Here we have a floral window card, a southwestern window card, a sea window card, and then a close-in gardening window card. On to one of my favorites, and that is trifolds. I brought you trifolds before. I want to show you our development in trifolds. Here's a bold, wonderful look. Trifolds say you care enough to stamp for like 5 hours. Not really, not that long. Here is a wonderful example of using both sides of roses. The background has been done with a ruler to put in the trellis for a Happy Mother's Day card. Then a wonderful new trifold concept with a jar, where we've used the stamp positioner to extend the jar up higher. So as the card rises, so does the size of the jar. Explosion cards are a specialty as well. A new stamp was designed for the explosion card that says, "Just wanted to say." But in this first one, here is a thank you, had a great time, introduces the explosion card, and then you open up with an explosion of thanks. With the other thank you, thanks, had a wonderful time, we open up with another type of thank you note, the photo card. A wonderful way to take a photo thank you, have it reproduced at any copy center, and enlarged and put in the same format. Just wanted to say Merry Christmas. Just wanted to say every type of greeting for Christmas, from Happy Hanukkah to Rejoice to We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And a final photo card for holiday Christmas giving. We've done twists to our trifolds. Here is a fun representation that goes on, you see, through 2 windows to a card. We have done fancy cutting here. This opens, you see where it's been die cut with an X-Acto knife and closes. Our open door, where we've done reversals on the other side for all bouquets. To our fish example, the fish interlocked here on the front and it opens out. One easy way I'd like to share with you is, I call it a little bit of cheating, and that is taking nothing but the bamboo stamp, filling an entire forest, had a great time is inside, and then we have used the wonderful popular Mrs. Grossman stickers to finish off the card. It is kind of cheating a bit. Now on to an example of what you can do with jewelry. This is pin art, the posh style. We've taken stamped images, put them in a large machine that does stiff lamination, and hooked pins, where we have one for a teacher, for travel, for golf, for the rubber stamper. It's lots of fun with pin art. You can go further with a color copy and enlarging designs, such as we've done here. It makes a big presentation to do a cowboy large card. This began small, and it finishes tall, as we say, with your inscription on the back. A card was given to me by a staff member, and I enlarged it to show you what an appearance it gives with mountings on a card. And then you see the inscription in here. So you can see it was truly a card. Started in small and then went large. On your wall, why not adorn it with stamp art? It's a wonderful way to extend your stamping hobby to walls. I want to get close to our ending with showing you an enlarged explosion card. Happy birthday. May all of your dreams come true. I hope all of your stamp dreams come true. And as a finale, I want to show you wearable art and even furniture. Our art has been transferred with a heat press from an enlarged copy This couldn't be more fun, to take your card designs, enlarge them, and make your wearable art. And here we have one for the holiday. And what I am just so excited to show you, as if I have not been excited before this, is I even designed my kitchen furniture, each one with a different design. I began by stamping a small card, such as this, and it ended up in a kitchen chair. And here's the chair.